This video is going to show you how you can use Google Sheets to have your students engage in the collaborative learning structure Jigsaw. If you're watching this video now, the hope is that you also watched this video on Jigsaw with Google Slides, because I'm going to be referring to some of the features in here, and that activity has already been explained in that video. This is really showing the tool Google Sheets and how you might be able to use it to divide your students out for the purpose of using a spreadsheet. So in Google Sheets, it is a Google app. It's the green one. You can go to sheets.new to create a new one. Give it a title up here. Change those share settings. For this, we are going to want all of our students to edit. So just make sure that it is with your domain, and anyone with the link can edit. You can copy that link and share it on your learning management system. And then you can dive in. The beauty of Sheets, there are so many features and so many uses for Sheets. We're going to go through how you can use multiple sheets for group work. So the first sheet, you could have directions and resources. I've modeled how I took some of the features here. I copied and pasted some items and just pasted them into text boxes. When you want your text box to have all of your words in it, you can go to Format and have it wrap your text, which means that that text box is going to open up and have any of the words inside the box. If you are okay with it overflowing, you can go to Format, Text Wrapping, and it overflowing. That means that it's flowing out of the cell. You can also insert an image. So I took an image from the slides and insert it here. You can also make things pop by changing the background. So I selected all of these cells by selecting this and pressing Shift, and then I kept Shift pressed and select this one, and now that's all selected, and I filled it in with a paint bucket. So I selected the color and I filled it in. I also made it pop with a border. I selected this border so that the outer border is here, and I made it a little bit thicker. So on your directions and resources, this is a one-stop shop for students. And then you can create a sheet for your groups. So maybe if you have group roles, you want students to select their group roles and put their names. So this is a really nice way to organize information. We had some group roles here. So maybe you've got your timekeeper. And see how it has an overflow effect here, but I do want my students to type their name here. So then you would want to go to Format and wrap that text. Okay, and then your students can put their names in there. Maybe you want to, as soon as you've typed everything you want that to pop, so you make it a color like yellow, and maybe you even give it all borders, just like that. Then what do you want your students to do? So the spreadsheet is great for various things. I think of math, I think of science with our data collection and whatnot, but I also think of a graphic organizer. And so this is a really nice way to automatically have things organized in rows and tables and cells. So for our purposes, I was using the idea of different inventions for the Industrial Revolution. And so students are going to be in groups. I've got 6 groups, and group number 1 is learning about the steam engine. So what are they going to be researching about that steam engine? These things. So I can set them up by putting in what they need to research: invention, year, inventor, etc., etc. Before giving this to students, I am going to go ahead and just select all of my cells here, and I'm going to go to Format, and I am going to make it wrap. That way the cells will open for students and they don't have to worry about that tech piece as they're typing things in. You can also give them more real estate by doing that. And if you don't want them to have any other of these cells because you don't see that there's a need, you can select, for example, F, and then hold your shift button down and select all the way to Z, right click, and delete these columns. You can do the same thing down here. If you didn't want all of these, you can just select, delete rows, and there it is. So it's a little bit less overwhelming, and it's clear what they need here. You can also select all of this and make it all, for example, 12-point font, make it all whatever kind of font you would like. And then they have their product here. They can insert an image. Note though that there is not the video option, but they could insert a hyperlink to a video if they wanted to insert that video. Lastly, a final tip and trick is you can definitely make these merge. So say you wanted to have more white space. All of these, you can go to Format, you can merge the cells, and you can merge all of these, and now they're merged. So remember, when you pick a tool, you definitely want to think about what is my purpose. So if you're really looking for students to organize information, maybe even numbers, you can absolutely do that. There are some math tools here and functions where you can highlight data. So maybe you are highlighting these 3 numbers, and you can do the sum, the average, maybe you're teaching mean, median, and mode. And there are a lot of different things here that we can get into, but just an example, sum, and then it did the sum there. So if I have any math teachers watching, you can get really, or science, you can get really fancy with the spreadsheet and whatnot, but this is just another way to jigsaw something out. When you have your master group one done, you can right click and you can duplicate. And so this can be group 2, etc., etc. You can even change the color so that each group has a different color. And this is how you can use Google Sheets as a collaborative activity for students.